Well, hello and welcome to day 3 of your Next Step Challenge. Today, we're really going to start taking action.
Right. Action. I love it.
Yeah, we hope you're excited about that. Now, day 1, you found your focus, that one area of blended family life that you most want to focus on improving during this season.
Yep.
We challenged you to use our 5 focus framework to help you decide on that and really find that focus. Then yesterday, you got to choose your path. Now, maybe you downloaded our free cheat sheet to discover lots of great resources. Maybe you did some Googling, and then you were able to choose just one path of learning.
Perfect.
Yeah, maybe it'll be a series of podcast episodes that you want to listen to, or a book you're interested in reading, or even finding a support person like a counselor or a coach. Just choosing one path that you'll take to gain insight and plan your next action steps.
Yeah, very good.
And hopefully you're really excited about the resources that you discovered, and now you're ready for today's next step, which is to chart your course.
All right, chart your course. That's right. Today you want to begin engaging with the resource that you chose yesterday. And this is a critical step that's going to keep you moving forward so that you can achieve something worthwhile in your blended family journey. You want to make an improvement that's going to create more connection in your marriage or in your family as well, right?
Absolutely.
We like one speaker and author. His name's Patrick Lencioni. And he asked the question, what is the most important organization in our lives? And he goes on to wonder, is it the companies we work for? Like we think about that when we think organization. Maybe the schools where our children learn from, or even our government agencies. Those are all organizations we tend to think of. But what Patrick concludes is, as important as many of our organizations are, none compare to our families. Your family, or we would say your step family, is the single most relevant, impactful, and precious institution in society. And yet thinking of it as an organization is largely ignored. And now Patrick isn't saying we don't care about our families or that we literally ignore the health of our family, but compared to the energy, the focus, and the time that we put into planning out the long-term success of our workplaces, our schools, our governments, our nonprofits, many of us rarely consider our family to be a quote-unquote organization that requires thoughtful planning in order to be successful. Like I work in this area and I struggle with thinking of it in those terms. The reality is most of us tend to just drift forward, kind of winging it as challenges, both big and small, come our way. And as a result of that, Patrick suggests that the cost of winging it is huge. Chaos, stress, regret, missed opportunities, frayed relationships, all of these are byproducts of lives lived without context and clarity. We're just winging it.
Winging it, or just kind of going with the flow, kind of that idea that, everything will just work out in the end. Really, that can often be the enemy of our success in our families. It really can. Because in the long run, winging it actually robs us of the family life we really desire. And, honey, unfortunately, we've learned this the hard way.
That's right. Multiple times.
In different seasons over the past 20 years of our marriage. We've definitely been guilty of winging it and failing to live with context and clarity in our blended family journey.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, I tend to really lean into winging it, and I've had regrets over that.
Sure, yeah.
In fact, during the time when we were locked in the family court battle with my ex, our marriage took a back seat during that season. That was a tough 3 years. And we just kind of winged it in the area of our romantic relationship. And we had very little intentionality around where we were headed as a couple.
That's true.
Yeah, we neglected that area. And coming out of that long season, we found ourselves in a place where we never wanted to end up. We really didn't like each other very much at that point, did we, honey?
No,
that was really hard.
Yeah.
And suddenly we realized that winging it put us on the wrong path. Originally, we had these great intentions about what we wanted our relationship to look like. but we weren't intentional about investing and planning how we'd actually get there, even through tough seasons.
I totally agree with that. That was really challenging.
Yeah.
You know, we're betting that you probably started off with really great intentions too. You were probably excited about taking action and doing something new, but somewhere along the way, your good intentions might have started to fall through the cracks of everyday life. This happens to all of us. We get busy and overwhelmed, and those good intentions of reading that book or listening to that podcast or getting started with coaching or counseling, whatever it might have been that you were previously motivated to focus on, that area of growth, it tends to end up on the bottom of your priority list, and then you stall out. You lose momentum, and those really great intentions go unfulfilled. And the default then becomes winging it, which, as Patrick said, leads to chaos and stress and regret, missed opportunities, frayed relationships. We've all experienced that somewhere along the way. And we just don't want that for you. We want you to live out your intentions, reach those goals, and make a difference in your family. And so today's challenge is going to set you up for success by putting context and clarity around those good intentions.
Yeah.
So to help you avoid winging it and instead be intentional and experience some great wins, today you're going to chart your course. Okay? And it's 4 simple steps. The first one is to name your goal. Make sure that it's a process goal and not a result goal. Now, a result goal says, I'm going to be more bonded to my stepkids in the next 30 days.
That's a big
process goal says, I'm going to learn about what bonding looks like over these next 30 days or 60 days. Okay, so name your goal and be specific. So you're going to take whatever it was you chose yesterday when you chose your path, and you're going to get really specific about what that means. So it's not, oh, I think I'll read a book about blended families. It's going to be, I'm going to read The Smart Step Family Marriage by Ron Deal. And that's where my goal is. That's my focus.
Specific book.
Exactly. It's not, oh, I'm going to do counseling or coaching someday, but I'm going to call 3 counselors or coaches to find the best fit for me. It's not, oh, I'm going to listen to some podcast episodes because Mike and Kim are kind of cool. No, well, maybe, I don't know. But really, I'm going to listen to 5 episodes that are focused on bonding or whatever that focus was that you chose on day one, maybe on marriage, maybe on co-parenting, whatever it is. But do you see how it's, number one, it's not result oriented. So I'm not going to get a reaction from somebody else. It's about my action steps. So it's a process goal and it's very specific. Okay. So that's step 1, name your goal.
Step 2 is plan your time. We all have limited time and resources, so we've got to be intentional. What's your overall time frame for this goal that you just named? If it's reading a book that you've chosen, when do you want to complete that book? In a week? In a month? What's realistic for you, but actually plan that time? If your goal is to move forward with coaching or with counseling, decide you'll give it a certain amount of time, even if it's hard. And it probably will be.
We'll talk about those hard things tomorrow.
But put a time frame on it. Are you going to give it 3 months, 6 months? What can you invest? And then if it's intentionally listening to those 5 podcast episodes in your area of focus, if that's what your path is, when do you want to have all 5 of those listened by? Are you going to listen to 1 a week on your commute to work or 1 a day? Figure out what that's going to look like.
So that's the overall time goal. What else is important around this whole time thing?
Well, time allotment. So we kind of touched on that. Am I going to read for 30 minutes, 4 days a week to complete that book? How much time do you need to set aside in order to reach that overarching time frame? Or I'll meet with my coach or counselor 2 times a month or every week, whatever that looks like for you, whatever the cadence is. Or I'll listen to 2 podcast episodes per week or every day, whatever works out.
That's great.
Figure it out. And then the third part of time is when will you schedule it?
That's right.
Things don't get done unless they're on that calendar,
That's
right?
We
You
all
know that. Don't pretend you can just sneak it in somewhere.
That's
Get
right.
it on your calendar. Is it every morning before you have your coffee or while you're having your coffee? Is it after work? Is it on the weekend? carve out your time.
Yeah. So name your goal, plan your time, and then be ready to capture your discoveries.
Yeah, that's the fun part.
Yeah. I mean, along the way, you've got to capture the things that you want to put into action.
Yeah.
Some people want to journal or just do a simple note-taking outline. Some people like paper notebooks. Other people like to take notes on their phone or on an electronic format. That's one way of capturing your discoveries. Another way, I'm a verbal processor.
You are.
Sometimes we need a processing buddy. So who might you share what you're learning with?
Yeah.
And it might not be your spouse, and that's okay. It could be someone that you want to hold you accountable. I've got a mentor who really invests in me, and I meet with him almost every week. And boy, he's a great processing buddy to just say, man, I'm working through this book. I'm trying to show up better for Kim. And I want to be able to talk about what I'm learning with you. And that's one way that I capture my discoveries. But as you're heading into this, if you're reading a book or you decide you're going to do multiple podcast episodes, whatever that might be, or even go to a live event, some sort of lecture or something like that, always keep in mind that you're walking in just looking for those one or two things that you can really start putting into practice and into action. I call them the gold nuggets. What are you looking for? I've had plenty of books I've read where I've read them and then put them on the shelf and I did nothing with. But it's those ones where I just find that little gold nugget in the middle where I go, ooh, I'm going to put that into action. And all of a sudden, life starts changing for the better.
Yeah.
So keep that in mind.
Yeah, I heard it put in a really unique way listening to a speaker recently at an event, and I took a note. She called it mental grazing. That's like your path of discovery is your mental grazing. And you're looking for that spark, that one thing that sparks a new perspective that challenges your own perspective.
Oh, yeah. I like that.
Don't just gloss over those things that challenge your thinking. That might be the one area where you really need to dig deep.
Yeah.
So do that mental grazing and looking for the spark. I love that.
Yeah, that's really good. All right. So we've named the goal. We've planned our time. Along the way, we're capturing our discoveries, and we've got a way we're going to do that. What do we need to do next?
Well, next we need to celebrate.
Woo! All right. And so plan that, right?
Yeah, we want to reward ourselves for this intentional learning that we're doing. It's important stuff. So we want to give ourselves a goal and a reward at the end of that goal. And we want to keep it simple and affordable. You know?
That's true.
Maybe you're going to treat yourself to a spa day or a massage if that's something that you really enjoy.
Please don't tell your spouse that Mike and Kim said that we're going to book a 2-week trip to Hawaii. That's not what we're talking about.
We're not advocating that. No.
Don't break the bank.
We want to keep it simple. Maybe you're going to purchase a small gift for yourself, something that you've really wanted and that you wouldn't normally buy for yourself. Like for Mike, it would be something electronic.
Yeah, I like little gadgets. That's
for
right.
For me, it would be like a new rug for the home or, new pillow, something like that. Yeah. But again, make sure it's within your budget. Maybe it's a special date night with your spouse that you want to plan, or even an overnight somewhere that works for you. And you're celebrating the growth that you've taken as a couple. Or maybe it's some special one-on-one time with your kids, just that really fun activity that you enjoy doing with them. Whatever it is, you want to look for something that's a good fit for you. If you're an introvert, maybe it's
someone I know.
Yeah. I love my alone time. Maybe you need a day to just relax and have some fun hanging out with yourself.
Yeah.
Or doing a special craft or a project that you enjoy, something like this. The point is to name this reward now, because that's going to give you a little added excitement and some incentive as you continue to walk through the course that you're charting out now.
That's great.
Right? You want to have that. So to chart your course, you're going to name your goal. You're going to plan out your time.
Yep,
so
get it
important.
on the calendar.
You're going to capture those discoveries, those
Get
next
your notebook
action
or the
steps.
app. Yep.
And then you're going to choose your reward.
Yeah.
What's your incentive?
Write that down. Take a picture of it. Put it somewhere where you'll see it on the bathroom mirror and go, okay, I'm going after that.
So it keeps you going.
That's good.
Now, like we've said, every day we're taking this challenge right along with you. And we've been really excited about that. So we want to share our own course. Yeah.
We're getting vulnerable here.
Yeah, we are. So yesterday, while I was choosing my path, I went to a great resource I love. It's an iMom website, which I just love. It's everything family, marriage, parenting. And I found that they actually have 10 blog articles with some great creative date ideas for couples.
Nice.
10 articles.
Wow, that's a lot.
Yeah, that's like, whew, amazing. So my goal is to plan a special time to date and connect with you, honey.
I love it.
Once a month.
All right.
Yeah.
Wow, that's like 10 months worth of stuff you already found.
I know. I've already got a list of ideas that are really doable for us and that I'm excited about. I didn't connect with every idea on every blog. Believe me, there were some that I was like, not happening.
I might want to read those.
Well, it can get cheesy, you know.
Yeah.
I don't do cheesy.
Well, I can do cheesy.
I know, but you can plan the cheesy dates and I'll plan the cool dates. But anyway.
Come on, people are listening. Let's
Yes.
get with the program here.
So my plan is to chart out which dates we'll do each month because some of these are seasonal and dependent on the weather conditions. So I'm going to sit down and really map that out. And then I'm going to get out our calendar, our family calendar, and really schedule our romantic dates. And of course, I'll also need to schedule some time for me to actually pull the date together with, whatever needs to be prepared or purchased or planned for that specific date.
This is awesome.
I know, you're excited.
A lot of people think, what? All this planning and all, that's not very romantic. Like some people think romance needs to be, on the spur of the moment. For me, to know that there's some intentional planning behind this, that's actually really romantic for me.
Yeah, love that.
I'm grateful for that.
That's one of the reasons why I chose this focus.
Thank you.
So I'm in the process of figuring all of it out, and I'm really excited because the reward for me is pretty obvious, right? What Mike just said, we're going to spend some quality time together. We're going to have fun. And of course, honey, you're going to feel more cared for and more loved. Since I'm the one that's actually stepping up to do some planning, it's usually you.
Yeah, okay. I love that. However, some of that reward is really for me. What if you had to choose a reward just for you?
Well, maybe I could do a little shopping for a cute new outfit to wear on our date night. You know how I love to shop and I love clothes. So that could be a good reward for me. What about you, honey?
That. All right. Well, you might recall that my overarching goals, I want to show up really well for our family. I want to be able to be connected and all of that. And my bandwidth is a challenge.
Yeah.
And what has emerged for me is an area that I believe I can grow my bandwidth is in this area of physical health. So I believe if I can get a bit more fit, that I'm going to actually multiply my energy and that's going to help me show up better.
Yeah, so, and this is important for us because you have type 2 diabetes.
That's right.
So to neglect this area of your life could be really detrimental down the road.
I'm investing in being able to play with our future grandkids someday, right?
This is important.
It is. So my goal really is to consistently show up for my workouts 3 times per week through the end of the year. That I'm keeping it a little bit more midterm, short term. To help me keep my eye on the ball.
Yeah, you're going to be developing a great routine.
Absolutely. So I'm going to plan my time. I'm going to approximately do that for 1 hour, 3 times a week. So I'm thinking that Sunday, Tuesday, and Thursday are going to be the good days. So I'm getting it on the calendar, figuring out my plan. And one of the things I'm going to do to keep discovering along the way, I want to log my physical progress. But more importantly, I'm going to pay some special attention to how this focus actually expands my energy. Am I experiencing more energy? Do I feel more present when I'm at home? And am I able to shift gears well when I need to and all of that? Because I want to show up good for you and for the kids. And really, there's a lot of other major areas of my life that I need to show up well for. So I'm going to keep a log and kind of keep track of how that's working for me.
That's cool.
Now, I'm struggling a little bit with this whole reward thing. But I have a couple of ideas, and they're really opposed to each other. So one of them, that I have a little rip in my car seat in the car, and I kind of want to get these really nice car seats for the car that one of my friends showed me. And so maybe that might be my reward at the end of the year. Maybe that'll be a good Christmas present or something.
Yeah, they are expensive.
I also just discovered this really cool Bible study system, and I'm a person of faith, and that I love to dive into Scripture. And so I'm thinking maybe I'll get that when the year's coming to a close to launch into yet next year. Now those are like way different from each other, but I actually really like both in a lot of different ways. So I don't know quite which one, but I'm still working on figuring figuring out that reward.
That sounds good.
Yeah. Now, I just want to point out, if you're listening, Kim and I are 20 years into our journey, and the things that we're focused on right now might be really different than what you're thinking about today.
Absolutely.
And that's okay, right? We're in a different point in the journey. The process of charting your course still works wherever you are. That's the beauty of it. This simple little tool is one that you can use over and over again as you move forward. So whether you're 2 years in or 20 years into your journey, it's something that's going to serve you well all the way through.
Yeah. And obviously, over the years, we focused on all 5 of these areas in our 5 focus framework.
Totally.
And we've learned taken little gold nuggets and learned little things along the way.
That's right. All right, so now it's your turn to chart your course. You're going to name your goal, get specific. You're going to plan your time, get it on the calendar. You're going to capture your discoveries along the way, so choose how you're going to do that. And you're going to choose your reward. So name that thing right now,
Celebrate.
whatever that time frame is. Get that stuff written down today. And then tomorrow, show back up here, and we're going to tell you the next step in your next step challenge. So with that, that makes today's episode a wrap.